Hi everybody, this is Dino Chris of Prehistoric Facts. This is an answering questions episode, so let's actually get right to it, shall we? So Benjamin from Hong Kong. So you got many questions here. Is Wannanosaurus the smallest bone-headed dinosaur? Does Diplodocus, have the longest tail of all sauropods? Is Seismosaurus the species of Diplodocus? Is Megaraptor the scariest dinosaur? And does Pentaceratops have the largest skull of all ceratopsids? So your first question is Wannanosaurus the smallest bone-headed dinosaur? Here, in terms of bone-headed dinosaur, that is called the Pachycephalosaurs. So, Wannanosaurus is only known for an incomplete specimen, and it's a few bones, if I know correctly. It's like a bit of the skull, a lower jaw, and I think part of a limb, a hind limb, and I think vertebrae, if I remember correctly. Not a lot has been found about this dinosaur, and it's still debated on whether or not this is a juvenile or an adult. But in terms of being the smallest of the Pachycephalosaurs, that would actually have to go to Micropachycephalosaurus. And look that up, you can actually find it. And when you actually compare Wannanosaurus to Micropachycephalosaurus is a tad bit smaller in terms of height and also length. So Micropachycephalosaurus can actually be close to a foot long and probably be maybe pretty close to a foot tall, but or otherwise underneath a foot tall. But I mean, you get my drift there. And so I would say Micropachycephalosaurus is actually the smallest of all the Pachycephalosaurs. But with Wannanosaurus, it is one of the smallest. But if it is an adult, it is actually one of the smallest. But if it's a juvenile, then it's probably a juvenile of a different kind of species. Does Diplodocus have the longest tail of all sauropods? I do not know, but that's a very good question. Somebody in the comments section in this video, please let me know what sauropod has the longest tail in relation to body size, and that way it can be seen, and that way you get a little bit credit. You get credit for it. So at least I'll let all the viewers out there actually check that out. Is Seismosaurus a species of Diplodocus? It's leaning towards that now. When you actually look at Seismosaurus and Diplodocus, you are actually almost looking at very identical dinosaurs. And so what could see Seismosaurus is now a different subspecies of Diplodocus now. I don't remember what the actual species name is now, but I do actually know that it has changed to just Diplodocus. It's a larger species of Diplodocus, and so who knows? It could be actually a male. Could actually be a male skeleton of Diplodocus, whereas the females are a tad bit shorter. But who knows? Is Megaraptor the scariest dinosaur? Depends on what your definition of scary is. I mean, everybody has an opinion on what the scariest dinosaur could be. A lot of them go towards the predators. I would say that a lot of the predators are going to be scary. But I want to let you guys. I want the viewers out there. Tell me what you think is the scariest dinosaur in your mind, and exclude Indominus Rex and Indoraptor, because those are not real dinosaurs. So exclude those, or do not include those. So at least tell me what your scariest dinosaur is in terms of like looking at the skeleton, or otherwise by looking at some pictures, or even a movie or TV show. Which one do you think is actually the scariest dinosaur in your mind? But I'd say, in my opinion, I would actually say some of the scariest dinosaurs would probably be some of the raptors, like Utah Raptor, Dakota Raptor, maybe Deinonychus, and a couple of Tyrannosaurs, maybe like T-Rex, Tyrannosaurus Rex, and also probably Albertosaurus, and I think with Allosaurs, or the Carcharodontosaurs, I would go Allosaurus, and I'll probably go with Acrocanthosaurus. Now, those would actually be my scariest dinosaurs. And just basically just by just by looking at their body, just by looking at the skeleton, and also their body size, because that would actually give me the willies. And also raptors in general would be very, very scary, considering like how intelligent they really are. You get those nasty claws in the hands and the feet. I mean, I'd say raptors are going to be more scarier than the Tyrannosaurs, Carcharodontosaurs, or Allosaurs. But just all of you out there, please let me know what your scariest dinosaur is. And Pentaceratops has the biggest skull of all ceratopsians. I believe so. I'm pretty sure it could have been broken. I'm pretty sure the record has been broken. But I think it could be like a Cosmoceratops, or it could be Torosaurus, or Pentaceratops. Those would actually be the candidates to actually have the largest skull amongst dinosaurs. And so it's either one of those. But yeah, Pentaceratops does have one of the largest skulls amongst all dinosaurs. Ceratopsians tend to have the largest skulls of all dinosaurs. All right, Brendan from Morris, New York. My question is, did Giganotosaurus, Carcharodontosaurus, Mosasaurus have tall spines like Acrocanthosaurus? And is Alioramus an apex predator or a minor predator? So to your first question, do I think Giganotosaurus, Carcharodontosaurus, Mosasaurus have tall spines like Acrocanthosaurus? Looking at their skeletons, no. I'd say Acrocanthosaurus is pretty much the only predatory dinosaur of the basal Carcharodontosaurids that actually did have tall spines. You can also include Concavenator, but looking at the vertebrae of like Mosasaurus, Carcharodontosaurus, and Giganotosaurus, I would actually say that they did not have the tall spines like Acrocanthosaurus. Acrocanthosaurus was pretty much the basal Carcharodontosaurid that actually did have the tall spines. Even Concavenator actually did have those. But I don't see them actually having the tall spines. I'd say that they're just like normal smooth back type of predatory dinosaurs. And then is Alioramus an apex predator or a minor predator? From my understanding, Alioramus is actually found in the same formations as like Zeuxantheranus and also Tarbosaurus. So I would say that it would probably be a minor predator, because looking at their skeleton, it is actually very gracile. It is very agile. So I would say that Alioramus actually belongs to the group of Tyrannosaurs that actually would be able to actually take down fast prey, whereas Zeuxantheranus and Tarbosaurus would actually be going after the more tougher dinosaurs, like some of the sauropods that were living around there, like the Megasaurus, and also some of the ceratopsians and ankylosaurs that were around there. Those would actually be the kinds of dinosaurs that Zeuxantheranus and Tarbosaurus would actually be going after. Alioramus would actually possibly be going after Gallimimus, could actually be going after some of the smaller ceratopsians that were a little bit more gracile, maybe the Pachycephalosaurs, those types of dinosaurs. That's what I believe. I'd say Alioramus is a minor predator. I do not see it as an apex predator. Could be an apex predator towards the prey it is actually going after, just not larger prey. And Jody asked, could Triceratops gallop? That is a very, very good question. Do some ceratopsians have the ability to gallop? We now know that ceratopsians had their front legs underneath their body, not splayed out to the side like we've seen many, many times throughout books, movies, those types of things, because it would not make sense to actually have your front limbs splayed out like that when your hind limbs are straight, because that would not be very efficient. And so, could they gallop? That is a very good question. It's a possibility. I would say yes. Because considering that like rhinoceroses today are the largest galloping animals alive today, because they're related to the horse, I would actually say that Triceratops and some of its kin could possibly gallop. I do believe that. I think they could be able to reach top speed with that. If you're just going with like, say, like a norm, like, could they like trot? if they were doing like a trot, then that would actually make sense. It would be more efficient for them. But in terms of top speed, I do think they could gallop. And because if you actually look at some quadrupeds or four-legged animals, the largest of all the ones are rhinoceroses today. And so since that the ceratopsians are kind of like the versions of rhinos in the time of the dinosaurs, I would say so. And I would say yeah. I would say yeah, because it would be very efficient for them to actually go top speed with a gallop, and it reduces a lot of stress to the joints of like the hips and also the knees, elbows, and ankles. And so I think they could actually gallop. All right, that's it for now. Next week would be a special episode, so I'll let you guys know on Saturday which prehistoric animal I'm going to talk about. So stay tuned for that on the Facebook page, Prehistoric Facts with Dino Chris. And you can still send me questions about dinosaurs or any other prehistoric life by emailing me at dinocris71@gmail.com. Or just go on my Facebook page, Prehistoric Facts with Dino Chris. Like the page, you can post your questions on the wall or in the comments section. Remember, keep your questions short to the point. You can also follow me on Twitter at CSGRALL. That's my Twitter page. I post pretty cool stuff in there. And also, YouTubers, please feel free to leave your questions in the comments section. I do read those, and you can actually be your YouTube name can be featured in the video. Just not on the screen. It would actually just be me be saying the name of the YouTuber out there. And but anyway, take care of the people around you. And also, for your younger people out there, make sure to listen to your parents, your teachers, and your guardians. It's the best motivation you can have for great education. It's very important to have a good education. So with a good education, you get a good job in the future. And so, as you can see, I'm actually here in the museum, and right behind me is the Ice Age exhibit. And so, right over my left shoulder, you can see Esther, the saber-toothed cat, glowing there. And then right over my right shoulder, you can actually see the woolly mammoth skull, the Hebrew mammoth skull. But here's something I'll show you. This is the North American black bear skull. And so we don't just have extinct animal stuff here. We do have animals that has replica bones and skulls of animals that are still alive today, like this black bear. And so this is a small individual. This would actually be like 150 to 300 pound individual. But open in here, the jaws do open. You can be able to do that. And you kind of see the teeth here, the canines and the molars. Omnivore, mostly an omnivore, not much of a carnivore or 100% herbivore. It's just in between, an omnivore, but it'll mostly be a vegetarian most of the time because it eats berries, some bark, and occasionally some things like that. And then it'll eat fish and also scavenge off of a carcass, but you get the idea. All right, that's it for now, and I'll see you guys next week.